Brock Lesnar learns winner of him versus Lashley will face Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, immediately loses via DQ. Montez Ford frog splashes so high he gets tangled in Elimination Chamber ceiling. And oh Canada, ref bumps everywhere. If you weren't so fragile, referees, maybe Sami Zayn would be champion now. I'm a heartbroken Oli Davis, and this is my review of WWE Elimination Chamber 2023. Before I get into it though, if this is your first time watching us, we make daily wrestling news and review videos. Make sure to subscribe and enable notifications to always on so you can stay up to date with all the on and off-screen happenings on the road to WrestleMania. Sign point.
Support WrestleTalk!
The show opened on the Women's Elimination Chamber match, which began with Natalya, she's from here, and Liv Morgan. I thought they were going to lean into Liv's Royal Rumble story, where she came out at number 2 and lasted all the way to the very end. Annoyingly, she was eliminated second. Nikki Cross was the first to be eliminated though, following a Raquel Rodriguez charging her through the pod bay doors so hard the camera missed the pin. Liv was taken out in dual submissions, passing out Natalya's sharpshooter and Asuka's armbar. By that point, everyone had already entered, and the match just wanted to skip to the end. Carmella eliminated Natalya, Asuka and Carmella eliminated Raquel, and then Asuka made Carmella tap in the armbar to win. A predictable result in a match that didn't do anything to make you think it wouldn't be predictable. Asuka was the massive favourite going in, and the match failed to build any drama that someone else could win. At just under 20 minutes long, the eliminations felt packed into the final few minutes, scuppering any potential for suspense. I'd say either book Liv to last to the final 2 again and have her just hang on, or just have Asuka tear through everybody. Instead, the action was caught in the mid, lacking any dramatic or hardcore high spots that are the benchmark for a memorable chamber. Definitely the right result, but ultimately a forgettable match. But at least it had a proper finish. I don't understand Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. On paper, they should have all the explosive finisher spamming of the great Lesnar versus Goldberg matches. But in their third match ever, with the first 2 also less than the sum of their parts last year, they put on their worst show yet. It was technically the fault of the booking rather than the action, as the 5 minutes were mostly exchanging F5s or spears. But when Lashley got Lesnar in the hurt lock, Brock low-blowed bobbles with his leg, meaning Lashley won via DQ. I don't mind having an angle-style match at a premium live event to build the actual proper match for the bigger stage at WrestleMania, but Lesnar's actions here made the last month of TV a total waste of time. Why would Brock demand week after week after week for Bobby to sign the rematch contract, for Brock to just cheat at the first opportunity? Laying this aside, the Montreal crowd were so hot, so forgiving, they forgot about the cop-out finish because Brock hit my favourite move! He also F5'd the referee twice, which he'd hopefully planned in advance this time. This match, alongside Bray Wyatt's SmackDown promo on Friday, sets up a road to WrestleMania with significant detours, lane closures and traffic. Wyatt laid out a singles feud with the winner, which might be why Brock just thought, nope, because he actually appreciates his credibility. This finish was designed to set up a 4th and final blow-off singles match between just Bobby and Brock. Triple threat could be possible, but I don't know how that could work. We got our first WrestleMania Goes Hollywood promo with Seth Rollins playing Joaquin Phoenix's Joker and Becky Lynch's Bat the Man. WrestleMania 21 promos are some of the best WWE have ever done, so it's fun to see these come back. I can't wait for the biggest DC success to eventually join them, The Rock's Black Adam, because it did make money. When all the licensing deals and the tax expenses and marketing agreements come in, it did make money. Judgment Day took on Beth Phoenix and Edge next. He's from here. Rhea Ripley was definitely presented as her faction's leader, and she and Beth were focused on the same, if not more, than the men, making for one of the best intergender tag matches WWE have put on in recent times. Although, that's not a high bar. Come at me, Mixed Match Challenge stands. All 2 of you. Dominic Mysterio was the ringside equivalent of a Russell Hobbs Best Buy convector radiator, by which I mean an absolute heat generator for the Canadian crowd, where it is famously chilly. But despite Dom distractions and Rhea using the brass knucks, a spear plus a husband and wife shatter machine on Finn gave Edge and Beth the win, which is fine. One Canadian had to win on this show. Rhea still looks strong heading into Mania because she didn't get pinned, and we can now finally wrap up this near year-long story. So probably expect Edge versus Balor Hell in a Cell come April. By the way, yes, you did hear me correctly. Edge and Beth won with a shatter machine. which is the old name for FTR's big rig finisher. Edge is very close real-life friends with Dax and Cash, so it could just be a friendly shout-out to the AEW team. Or, with their contracts reportedly up soon and Dax making WWE teases on his social media, it could be the latest William Regal. The revival to WWE confirmed. While the Women's Chamber match was just a vehicle to make Asuka the #1 contender, the US Championship Chamber really fulfilled the stipulation's full potential. Mania feuds were established, with Logan Paul costing Seth Rollins victory in the final two, smartly set up with Montez Ford needing to be helped out by medics following a stomp on the chamber floor. Mid-carders were significantly elevated, with the aforementioned Ford having several breakout runs, most notably a splash hanging from the top of the cage, the biggest step yet on him developing into a fully fledged singles star, and some spectacular spots that could only happen in this apparatus, like the splash spot, but also 60% of Johnny Gargano's offense, including an incredible powerbomb reversal on top of one of the pods, giving Rollins a Hurricane Rana onto everyone below. Bronson Reed was eliminated first, then Gargano, then Priest, then Ford, but everyone felt more over coming out than when they went in. An impressive feat when you have to pin 5 different people. Theory retained, setting up the long-awaited John Cena match, who did show up at the end, you just could not see him. And Logan Paul is now concretely a heel. He was always a heel, but now he's actually a heel. All is right with the world. One of the better chamber matches ever, and a very well-booked finish. The rest of the card almost didn't matter, because this was really a one-match premium live event. The last hour of this show, which is how much time the main event took up in total, from entrances to closing angles, will go down as one of the most perfectly aligned storylines in wrestling history. Over 9 months, a narrative organically emerged between Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. But unlike the past under the old man, WWE decided not to intentionally sabotage it. Instead, they went with the natural build, adding on layer of character complexity after layer of character complexity, all building to a home field atmosphere of Sami challenging Roman for the belt in his Montreal, the likes of which I haven't seen since CM Punk in Chicago at Money in the Bank 2011. Love you, CM Punk, you did nothing wrong. Just like that match, the crowd was 100% united. There was no split chance, no controversial reaction. It went exactly how the story needed it to go, because this was a story that the fans had dictated and gotten over as much as the bookers. Sami was beloved, Roman was hated. It's the most pure form of wrestling character matchups. The monster heel versus the underdog babyface. Much like this whole storyline and Sami's promo on Friday's SmackDown, WWE presented this perfectly. The timing of the ring intros, the entrances, Michael Cole's commentary, how they soaked up more crowd heat before even touching, Roman working 17,000 people with just his face, telling a story of arrogant dismissiveness to then genuinely annoyed frustration at the fans' chanting was flawless. And in a world where you get a couple of 5-star matches on TV a week, forming a white noise of Poison Ranas and Canadian Destroyers, what fans really crave right now, what they need, is emotional investment. So both men worked a classic main event style match. There were headlocks, there were rest holds, there was a lot of Roman jaw-jacking fans and stalling and getting in Sami's wife's face at ringside. The enjoyment here didn't come from crazy spots, it was from the timing of the near falls, Sami taking just the right amount of punishment before making his comeback, and in the twists and turns of the final heartbreaking act. Sami got the visible pin after a ref bump, which led to Jimmy Uso taking him out. But Sami kicked out. There was a second ref bump, which let Heyman pass Roman a chair. But this time protecting Sami was Jey Uso, a masterful mirror of how Sami defied Roman in front of KO at the Rumble. Reigns gave Jey the chair to use on Sami instead, an incredible storytelling beat, but Jey hesitated. Sami went to spear Roman, but speared Jey instead, his last remaining friend. Reigns hit a spear of his own and got the 3 count. The air was sucked out of Montreal. I'm so used to now writing why that was a mistake in the booking, that they should have done this or they should have done that. But WWE have booked such an emotionally complex story with so many potential paths and a whole secondary, just as compelling feud with Cody Rhodes that I can't fault this. Sure, I'm deflated. I'm heartbroken. Quite a little bit. But in the same way I would be if my favourite character on a TV show just died. What I'm feeling is the pain the narrative wants me to feel, not a meta pain at any faults in creative, and that is an utter joy for me to love wrestling in its purest form with the cynicism that comes with being a reviewer, rather than find issue with the nuts and bolts backstage. But there's also something else at play here. Beneath the excellent story of Sami and the Bloodline is a larger tale of wrestling ideology. Sami's rise through long-term organic booking happened at the same time Triple H became head of creative. Those Olay chants from the crowd, Sami's music being sung by 17,000 people. This is the potential NXT setup back in 2015. We all believed back then that a brighter dawn would soon occur on the main roster, that all that time we spent investing in NXT stars would be worth it. But act after act after act after act after act was ruined and buried and stripped of everything we fell in love about them. Sami versus Roman isn't just a story of the Bloodline, it's the story of how those 4 or 5 years of us all watching NXT wasn't a waste. It was worth it. That the main roster didn't ruin our favorites for good. That good wrestling and good wrestlers can succeed at the top of the card, no matter how they look. We knew that if the company just got behind them, the Samis, the Nevilles, the Nakamura's, the Keith Lees, they could be top stars alongside people like Roman Reigns. And now it's happening. This is a proof of concept of our love. Kevin Owens saved Sami in the post-match angle, but they crucially didn't hug. What did you think of Elimination Chamber 2023? Let me know in the comments. Lesnar versus Lashley was the only bad thing on this show. I really enjoyed the intergender tag and the men's Elimination Chamber, but Sami versus Roman was another all-time great chapter. Elimination Chamber 2023 is 98%. Now go watch Pete's immediate, very sad reaction to Sami losing.
We have just finished Elimination Chamber 2023. And unfortunately, I must report that Sami Zayn is not the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion.